Greetings and salutations, humans. I'm echoing. Damn it. Like, I checked all this shit before we started it, and now it's all fucked up. Is it a Mercury Gatorade or something? I don't know. It is. Alright. I think I've done it. Okay, no echo. Greetings and salutations, humans and earthlings and all beings that we love you. Welcome to the Obelisk. Tonight's guest is the lovely and beautiful Mel Krell, reporting from Manhattan.
Aye.
She's the author of Manic in Manhattan 2020 and works at Performance Nutrition Solutions and the Beautiful Mind Collective. And there's that Palm Beach style thing too. I don't know how that works from Manhattan, but
Well, my family's in Palm Beach, so
of course they are.
It's a family situation.
Have you ever been to what's that place called? I'll think of it. There's a great Italian restaurant down there.
Where, in Palm Beach?
Yeah. They got these great garlic rolls. Oh my god. Anyway.
Italian restaurant?
Yeah.
BJ?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Maybe it was it's in West Palm Beach.
Oh, there's so many good restaurants.
Of course.
But I'm stuck in Manhattan. I'm watching the apocalypse straight up.
You're in the belly of the beast.
The worst belly of the beast, because the real belly of the beast is the UN. And
Yes.
I'm only a few blocks from the evil that is the UN.
Yes,
Thank
and the
you,
good group.
Rockefellers, for giving them that land, bastards.
The good
really?
club.
Oh, I know about the good group. Don't get me started.
I'm going to get you
demons.
started. I am
Those
going to get you
demons.
started now.
They're my
this is-
thing. My biggest thing is evict the UN.
Yes.
And just so you know, canon on this show is that everything is demons. So just FYI.
Oh, yeah.
No,
That's
no.
what
You guys, I
mean.
listened to a bunch of your shows today. I get where you're going.
Oh,
yeah.
Oh, good. You binged us.
Yes,
well,
I did.
First of all, it's fabulous to have you on. And I know you're bringing the woo.
Well, the truth is, I never got married and I don't have kids. So if they want to kill me, they can. I'm not suicidal. I'm not suicidal, is all I got to say.
Put that out. But other than that, we are all going to die, right? We're going there.
Yeah. But they've convinced us that if we breathe air or talk to our neighbors, that we're going to die.
Well, right now on the West Coast, breathing air, I feel like I could die.
Did you guys know that 4 out of 5 dentists surveyed say that 10 out of 10 people die?
Oh my God, is that amazing or what?
Oh my God, there's got to be a back door.
Yeah, well, the fear of dying is what they've implanted in everyone's heads over the last 6 months to brainwash us into believing that, talking to your neighbor is dangerous.
Yeah.
This
has been, on a global scale, that's what's so impressive, if I may say impressive, because look, it's all over the world.
Yeah, but how easily were we convinced? I
wasn't.
No, I was wondering.
Well,
I
none
think
of us were, but I'm saying like the masses are convinced that the flu is a reason to end the world. It's completely backwards. And what they're doing psychologically to humanity is so disgusting. If you talk about crimes against humanity, what they've done with this corona is as bad as it gets.
Well, do you think we can trace some of the roots of this back to Louis and Marie Antoinette?
Absolutely. What are we talking about? It's the same people paid for the same good group paid for the French Revolution.
Yes. Take us back. Take us on this journey.
Okay. Well, in the French Revolution, King Louis said, if you get rid of me, you will be in tyranny. And they killed him. But the truth of the matter was that the Rothschild family and these bloodline lunatics paid both sides. And now we are dealing with the same exact people, the heirs of the French Revolution, that are telling us in America right now that we should fear our neighbors, be scared of the air, wear masks, and walk around as if like we're going to die tomorrow. And it's just sickening. It's sickening because the truth is that we're being played again. And because they stopped teaching history when Bill Gates handed out a bunch of computers and
You mean
everyone
King
cheered.
Gates. King Gates.
He ain't a king. I'd say he's much closer to Satan.
It's Kill
But
Gates.
when he
Queen Gates.
Kill Gates.
yeah, exactly. But when he handed out all his computers, and Oprah was like, "Oh my God, Bill Gates giving computers to everyone, free computers." Well, that came with Common Core. Common Core was a dumb down of our society, of our children, and now those children are Antifa.
Yeah.
And
Well, what
yeah, go ahead.
about Mel? What about the? I think a lot of people aren't familiar that Louis and Marie's son survived.
Right, and he came over here. He's the Paysor family.
Yes.
And what happened was, and this is hidden history, which we got to expose hidden. I mean, like, I'm on the verge of going back to school to get a PhD in fucking, I'm sorry to curse, in history,
You
to
can
like
curse
go
here.
back and rewrite the truth, because the truth
Right.
has been suppressed. Because when
Yes.
the Clintons came in, don't think it was Obama. Obama had no power, no power. When the Clintons came in and rewrote history, they rewrote it their way. But what really happened was, when they killed Marie Antoinette and King Louis, they took the son. The son went to the royal family in England. And then when he was 19, they sent him over to Virginia Company, which was, I believe, South Carolina. And he moved in with the Bundy family. And they started buying up. It's still the French royal family, don't forget. So these are the Paysors. And they started buying up all the railroads and all of the steel companies and all of the mining companies and everything that connected America. And the truth was that they were really going to give the 50 states to the 50 bloodline, like the 12 bloodlines, and put them out there. Anyway, so Daniel Paysor, his real name, he really was King Louis the following. He ended up basically buying America.
Mm-hmm.
And what happened was they circumvented our Constitution. And they started basically buying not just all the railroads and all the steel companies and all the manufacturing companies, but also the land around it in 100-year leases. And basically, the French monarchy came here and it just started buying up America. And in the Act of 1871, I'm sorry, you guys, I'm in Manhattan and I'm outside. But in 1871, they made the Act of 1871, which made basically our country a corporation. And from that day forward, our Constitution was circumvented.
Yes.
And
see, these crumbs are out there. People don't realize that these crumbs are actually out there.
Right. But nobody wants, here's the problem. What happened was, I believe, I graduated from college in 2000. So, and the grad school. So I believe that once the Clintons came in and they, first of all, they're all working for the Rockefeller family. They're all working for the Rothschild family. They are working for one world order. They've never lied about it. George H.W. told us flat out we were going into the New World Order. And everyone sits around and thinks, oh, that sounds great. And then they tell us the UN is good. The UN is all about undermining the Constitution of the United States and taking over our country in terms of pulling it into the New World Order. So what this is really about at this point is that we are right now functioning under a false government.
Yes, and I think that, of course, we understand this, but this is still just absolutely shocking to so many people that cannot grasp anything beyond 5 days ago. Like just
Right.
like fashion and seasons
5
of it.
minutes ago.
It really now it's getting down to 5 minutes.
Well, the truth is that they're all involved. They're all involved. Right now, it's not Donald Trump versus Biden. It's Donald Trump versus basically the
Versus the
UN.
globalists. Yeah.
Yeah, it's Donald Trump versus the UN. And the problem is that our country was so dumbed down. Remember Oprah bringing out, oh, Bill Gates is giving out all these computers and da-da-da. Well, that came with Common Core. Common Core was to dumb down our children over the last 20 years to only take tests. They will tell you information, and then you have to memorize that information to pass tests. And that's what our education system has become. So instead of, giving us books like 1984 and Animal Farm and Huck Finn and all the books we all learned from, the Odyssey, all the books that we grew up with, they stopped doing that. They started just saying, this is what you need to learn, and then you have to pass this test, and then you learn this, and then you pass this test. And then, so we've turned into probably 2 generations worth of kids who are now Antifa and Black Lives Matter, who were completely misled about history.
Mm-hmm.
I saw today that like 70% of millennials think the Jews caused the Holocaust. I mean, this is an article in.
I saw that too.
Didn't you?
Yes.
And the truth is, that's called Common Core. You know what I mean? And who created Common Core? Bill Gates.
Why should we believe that
Jerry,
poll? Why should we believe that poll over, say, political polls or other polls? Don't you think that most of the polls are made up to feed the narrative that they want out there?
Yes, of course. But the truth is, the polls are more about making people not vote, in my opinion. They're to convince people that there's no reason to vote because it's already decided. You have to understand, most people are lazy.
Yes.
And I have to tell you what happened in New York City because I was here.
Tell it, sister.
Lay it down, sister.
Okay, so what happened was I was working on this project called The Irishman, which I can tell you a lot about Netflix if we get there, but maybe next time. Anyway, and it's snowing on election day. And I'm walking outside and I'm thinking, nobody's going to go vote. Nobody's going to go vote. And then suddenly he wins. And guess how many people voted in New York City for Bill de Blasio? 17% of New York City voted at all.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's.
So you want to know how Bill de Blasio got in there? Because he picked them up. I'm telling you, it was snowy, and New York City, no matter how much they say, like, smart people live here, people were just like, I'm not going to wait in line. And now, here we are.
And isn't he, his real name is like something Wilhelm, I forget his last name.
He's an evil demon.
He's an evil demon.
Yeah.
But he's got, he's a German, what's his name?
Yeah, he's a communist from like birth. But that's not even the point. The worst part about Bill de Blasio is he really hates white people.
Yeah. Oh, that's.
I know that sounds bad, but he does. Or whatever his shit is, it's really anti, not just white. I mean, he's just such a racist. But like, you're not allowed to be a racist if it's white people. But I'm
it's
telling you right now,
racism's
what
only
he's done
one
to
way.
Manhattan is disgusting. Right. But that's what they say. So
I still
back to the
defend
beginning of
everyone's
this
right to be
conversation
racist.
is,
If you want to be that way, be that way.
well, the worst part is the worst racism going on is actually, I mean, I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you cut out. We didn't hear what you said.
Yeah, you totally cut out.
I think she was going to say the BLM people.
Oh dear, Mel, where are you?
So how about that UFO with the turned out to be the Goodyear blimp?
No, but then that turned out to be a fake narrative.
I know.
You got to follow through on these, Jerry.
I haven't had a chance today.
Yeah, so that became a cover up. My idea with that is, what's the real story? They're seeding this new idea heavily.
There's lots of alien shit in the news. The whole thing with Venus and
Right, it's getting seeded, and so whether it's a fake alien invasion, whether it's a real one, it's
there can't be a real one.
It's before us. Well, it doesn't matter. They're just putting out the other.
It's all demons.
So, right. Mel dropped off, but she's going to join us here in a minute.
I know.
It is going to be interesting to see how that plays out, because immediately they rolled out, what's his nuts? What is his nuts?
Stephen Hawking?
Mr. Blink 181.
Oh, Tom DeLonge?
Yeah, with his new thing today.
He's got the DeLonge in his pants.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Did you see that? This was hilarious. Babylon Bee, you know, the satire site?
I don't.
Oh, it's like The Onion, but it's more political.
Unless you post it, then, and I look at your stuff.
I do post occasionally. Anyway, they put out a story earlier. It was late last night or this morning, I don't remember. They said something like CNN blasts the peace thing that Trump did today for not social distancing.
Oh dear. Oh, I did see that. Did you post that?
I believe so.
Yeah.
And then later on today, CNN, or it was probably last night, after they posted theirs, CNN actually put out a story that said that.
Oh my God. You can't, I mean, seriously, that's worse than Mockingbird.
When satire becomes news, we're fucked. We're so fucked.
Well, it's the inverse. It's all the inverse. That's why I was posting with the Happy House from Susie and Sue, Susie and the Banshees today. You know, it's all, remember, bad means good. You know, take your meds, drink the Kool-Aid.
Isn't that just double speak, though?
This is the Happy House. Well, it's by design, and it's part of this web we find ourselves in, and language, as you know, is a very powerful thing, and it's absolutely being used against everyone except for those that are in command of it. And so this is why we need to understand the root meanings of words and try and get a little bit, get the reins back on this. And
we got to get Jordan Maxwell back to give us some learning on etymology.
I know. There's Jordan is good. Kristen Scott is good. There's so many people that are just rocking it right now. I mean, Jordan has his whole life, but it's weird. Maybe you should text Mel.
Okay.
Just so we know she didn't have like an encounter.
Yeah,
she was on this. Were we ever in Cam back here, people? And she was out. She had some wine. She's in Manhattan, and she was out on the street. So.
So I said, "Are you okay? Did BLM get you?"
And you know, we're going. Oh, people, for the people of the world listening to this. Jerry and I once again got called supremacists.
Oh my God, that was like the word. This person, oh man, don't even get me started. I'm going to read this review.
So hard,
I know,
Jerry.
we're like the furthest thing from.
It's like, you don't even know my genetics. You don't know my story. You don't know who I love. You don't know shit about me. And you want to say that?
This person said, this was the title of the review, more neo-Nazi dog whistling. People will die because of this podcast.
They can't take the reality.
This is a 4chan alt-right mafreeze peach talking points bulletin wrapped in a thin paranormal layer. Save yourself some time and skim a pirated copy of Behold the Pale Horse instead of listening to this show.
So we're, and I wondered if it was like related to that Kelly person who started this whole idea.
I don't know.
So, well, I think it's too funny. But my point here is, and my biggest point will always be
on your head.
Exactly. It doesn't matter. I believe in freedom of speech. And so if you want to hate, just don't act out on that. Don't hurt others. So if you want to have hate speech and it's not hurting anyone, and aside from feelings where people can turn away and click away and not listen, then go ahead with it. We are in dangerous times when people are telling you what you can and cannot say, telling you what you can and cannot think, and pushing narratives and stories on people, and basically doing the whole gang stalking thing and then shadow banning. It's absurd, and we need to really look at what is going on with that. It's ridiculous. And you see this now. It's very invasion of the body snatchers. One says racist at anything, point your finger at the grass and call it racist for coming up green. It's so absurd. Well, so with that said, Jerry, I hold the right to say fuck you to that poster because your rhetoric is worse than anything I have heard or seen.
Absolutely.
Calling us, throwing in that Nazi talk.
Neo-Nazi dogma. See, this is the problem. And I've known this, but I'm kind of seeing it now that the definitions for fascist and Nazi and racist have been expanded. They don't mean what they used to mean in the terms that these protesters used them.
No, because
for
no
instance,
one yes,
Antifa, right? They consider capitalism a form of fascism.
Right. I know. That's what I keep seeing that going, what? These people, Jerry, they don't understand. Like Mel was saying, and like she says, there's no historical context. People have no idea.
Right.
The modern whatever's going on in the modern soup with the youngins that are real young, that seem to be who are being masqueraded around in the streets mostly. They have no context to history, even the whitewashed history. They have no context at all. So, at least come at us with bullshit history.
That's racist to say whitewashed history.
Oh, right. Oh, I can't say anything white. That's right. I can't say anything white.
No, you can. You could say it's white as long as it's bad.
Oh, okay.
Kill all
that's
white
right.
people. Right?
That's right. It's so absurd, and it's hard. I've been quiet. I've been trying to be neutral, but it's just increasingly becoming the idiocracy of all this it's getting to like an absurd level, like the level of the smoke factor here on the West Coast. It's so absurd.
You reminded me. I read a story today. I think it was from the CDC or from the health guru in Oregon or Washington. I remember that masks are not effective for stopping the smoke from the fires. Right? But it's going to save you from the coronavirus. Oh my God.
I'm going to break out my, keyword, my old military Russian mask. God, I can't say Russian. Lord have mercy. It's a good thing I don't use my real name.
Gotta find this.
So,
cloth mask ineffective in wildfires. Oh, look, it's a fact check.
Oh, is it Snopes?
No, it's USA Today. Just as bad.
Oh, that's Snopes is worse, but whatever. They're funded by the same people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
George Soros, right?
Soros and King Gates, like all of a sudden our Queen Gates, whoever. But it's getting absurd, and I it's really hard for me now. I'm trying to walk a center line, but at some point, it's I'm losing brain cells listening to some of this crap, and the fact that it gets perpetuated when you. So here's a good example of idiocracy. I, I have I have a small chunk of land, but it's in a small town, and it's a small chunk, but it's the woods around my house. And you cannot see anything outside of it, so it's great. Well, the city comes and they trimming the hedge that I planted to get some privacy from these mad people in the world before all this happened. And you cannot, there's a street, it's on a corner, and it moves into a street where you have to turn right or left, where you have to stop. You have to stop no matter what you're doing. You have to stop, or you run into, if you don't get hit, into a house. Okay. So the city worker is trimming the hedge, and I come from behind the hedge and I ask what's going on. And she's like, well, people, we have to get we have to make the stop sign, the code visible and blah, blah, blah. Well, the sign was says visible. And I said, okay, yeah, I get that. But it was visible. So what's the issue here? Well, we're getting complaints that people can't see the stop sign. And I asked just one simple question, and it derailed her programming. I said, so people would not stop here without seeing the stop sign? And she literally, like, I saw heat moving from her head and then smoke. It's like, you cannot do anything but stop. You actually have to stop here. And so, that's what this is, idiocracy we're dealing with. And it's just by basic observation and asking simple questions that seem kindergarten level that actually, I think it helped her. She looked at it in a different way because she's just being told what to do, and she was just doing what she's told until she encountered my scary ass on the other side of the hedge she's trimming. I was like, please be nice to my hedge here.
Yeah, I know. People just, it seems like they're just on autopilot.
They are on autopilot, and the funniest thing is while she was there, while I was listening, because I was creeping this, you're trimming my stuff. I'm out there. I'm really crazy like that. The mayor drove by and stopped, and she's like, is this good enough? I hate our mayor, by the way. She is exactly what's put in here, like that Deborah Tavares talks about. She's pushing all these agendas further here in my local little town. And they all, I'm one of the many people that are hated here because
Because you're a witch.
because I exist, right? And I question them, and I wouldn't let them put smart meters on when they demanded it was a law. I'm like, there's no law. Get the fuck off my property. I'm sorry, people. I'm in rare mood lately. And so she never responds to me. They send out this, it's the law, we have to put smart meters on. I respond by saying, no, it's not the law, and no, you're not going to come here and do it. And she sends me to the water guy, because this was talking about water, and without even responding to me as a good mayor should, right? No, and this is a small town. So she forwards me to some guy with some literature and stuff about how great smart meters are. Well, I had already gone through this with the electrical side of this, and I wrote him back and derailed his conversation, his programming on this. And by derailing it, what I mean is he has no jurisdiction to do that on my property. He's got no authority over me, and I made that clear. And I personally don't care about Black's Law. Oh, is that racist? Because that's actually a real thing. And I operate as a whole different level of, you don't own me, baby. So but I did end with the legal words that you're supposed to put in, I do not consent. And they didn't put it in. But I still went and said, you have no authority to do that. I don't care who's telling you have authority. You have no authority to do that. Under whose authority? And this is how I feel, Jerry, about everything in my life. I don't care who is ruling at the top and sitting in their comfy, blood-ridden thrones. At this point, I don't care. I'm not consenting, and I don't need some legal dictionary or legal terms to say I don't care and I don't give you power.
Yeah.
it's offensive to me. I'm offended that people actually follow this bullshit.
Yeah, well, you know what? It works on demons.
I must know them by their name to command them, though. That's
Yeah,
the
I know.
thing. There are rules with understanding the demons, Jerry,
Suzanne and I were just talking about this the other day.
about the rules of dealing with
Yeah,
demons.
yeah.
What was the gist here? Because there are rules.
I don't remember now. I don't remember. I will scroll back in my chat and find out.
Dude, bro, it's all right.
Oh, we were talking about the Key of Solomon.
Oh, yeah, yes.
And I brought up the fact that he had commanded all those jinn or trapped the jinn or whatever the fuck he did, like to build the temple. And she had never heard that story, and it's from the Quran. And then we started talking about how, you know, you cannot command a demon unless you have its name.
Yeah.
So
it's true. And there are these natural laws, and those are the kinds of things that we should observe and understand to get around in this realm, like any good video game. And so, but to just assume that the king and the queen or the president or the prime minister or your local city mayor actually has power over you, you've given it away right there. You've given it away. But it's these jagoffs that are the ones calling them saying, "Oh, I don't like that person's lawn. I can't see the stop sign. I might get hurt." It's like, bitch, you're gonna get hurt if you just drive out, period. Maybe you
hashtag
shouldn't
safety.
be hashtag safety, and maybe you shouldn't be behind the wheel if you can't operate a vehicle and understand when you need to stop. Oh my God. The idiocracy is just at that level now. And so I finally hit my point, Jerry. I was calm and cool and collected for months, almost a year here, you know, like and it didn't take a mask for me to get all oxygen deprived. It took smoke in the air. What's going on now? It's like one way or another, we're going to be oxygen deprived. That looks suspicious.
How about all the politicians coming out going, "Oh, it's climate change. It's Trump's fault that the West Coast is on
Trump's
fire."
fault.
I know.
Yeah. That's another thing. So I don't have a stake in this game. Let me make this very clear.
Tell it, sister.
I'm not voting, and I don't care to vote, and I don't have skin in this game. I personally find Trump entertaining as hell as an entertainer. These people are all entertainers, people. They're all actors. I don't have a stake in this game at all because none of this is anything I want to have a stake in. This is bullshit, all of it. And I refuse to stoop down and try and play it. I'm at a different level here. And, but that said, I'm not pro Trump. I'm not against Trump. I can say this about Biden, though. Let me say this about Biden. I do believe we need term limits. And I mean, when you start becoming clearly deranged because you've hit 80 years old, you've been doing bad things your whole life, and you can't form a sentence, you should be unable and ineligible to be in higher office. You shouldn't be in any office. And so the fact that he's actually running, that people are getting behind him, should wake people the F up and realize that this is a puppet show. This is theater. And if you can't see that by now, if you can't see that the real ploy here is to get slave owning Kamala, she's Indian American, people. So I'm tired of the African American meme with her. Not that it should matter. I'm actually one of those people that think merit matters. I don't give a shit about your skin color, melanated or non-melanated. You're not your body. And the moment you get out of that idea that you're not your body, you might actually have a deeper thought. And so this is about getting Kamala into office. And if not, at the very least, the head robot right now up there, Grandma's Cookies, whatever her name is from Futurama, that's a robot, Nancy Scary Ass Pelosi, I'm saying all the words tonight.
I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, but I'm loving it. No, you're talking about
Nancy
Mom
Pelosi. So if
on
this
Futurama?
election, yeah, on the grandma on Futurama, that's
Mom.
actually a mom. Yeah, the robot.
She's not a robot.
Whatever she turned out to be.
Skinny.
And anyway, so in the interim of whatever voting scandal happens, she becomes the acting chief in office.
That's actually not true.
Well, here's what I'm talking. I'm talking about what's being thrown out at us. So that's coming to us through the waves, the wave particles.
There's no such thing as wave particles.
Oh, don't get smart on me, Jerry.
I'm not. It's just a wave isn't a thing.
We're both in the Tesla group.
Yeah, but a wave isn't a thing. It's something that's done by a thing.
Right.
But anyway,
it's actually a causality.
Yes, it's an attribute.
Yes. But that's going to be over everyone's head too. Just like saying we're not racist. That's over.
We're not
racist.
Head.
I know, but I'm not even going to justify that anymore. I laugh when I hear it because people don't know my story and don't even understand my genetics to call me such. Not that it doesn't actually bother me. I don't care. I think you should get into your people. Get in, enjoy. Everyone else can get into their people.
What do you mean your people?
I know. Oh, that is so. I didn't learn that was weaponized until I was living in Burbank the last time. Yeah. And that became a story. It's like, oh my God, really? Because I've always called my friends and my tribe my people, right? The people I love are my people.
Right. They are.
And so now you can't say that because that becomes somehow related to racism. I'm just all over the board here. So, but anyway, I'm not into this whole thing is theater. And if you cannot see that it's theater, that what you're doing is creating more energy for this vampiric system to feed upon by playing into it, then you're part of it. I'm not part of the problem by not voting. I'm actually not part of the problem at all by not voting. Can you get that? Does that comprehend?
Are you asking me?
No, I'm just on a roll tonight. I feel like Clyde Lewis or something.
Go tell it. I'm guessing that Mel's phone died and she's hurrying home.
That's all right. I can rant on. I am feeling it. And you know what? Especially when I knew Mel was coming on and I put my psychic eye on her and all this. It's like I was on Vaughn's show this last week and I made the mistake of getting on his Twitter and looking at him and I came like on fire. I started on fire. I'm like, I'm not. But my very first opening is like, I'm not kissing anybody's boot. And, I came right on like fire. I've just so had it. I've had it that these things are actually perpetuating, that people are allowing all this crap to perpetuate. And what's bothering me is people I consider intelligent, Jerry, that are not able to parse through this bullshit cake.
I know. I won't get started about that. But yeah, I agree. And the thing about it, I think that we need to realize is that not everybody is paying attention to it. There's out of, say, the whole population, I don't know what percent, but there's only 1% of people who are actually paying attention to it. And half of those people they hate Trump and the other half doesn't. And then there's a portion in there, mix in there, people who don't want to speak up what their real feelings are. Because
and this is where I was, Jerry. I was really trying, like I said, months of remaining really super uber neutral because this is all a joke to me anyway. And I'm one of those people that I do meditate and I go deep into self and I do a lot of work, and it's pushed even me off my heels. You know what I'm saying, baby? I'm like, all right, the heels are coming off. And so, and it's just to this point of ridiculous that it's hard to, everything, literally everything has is politicized. Absolutely everything, including the stuff that we were talking about in the beginning of Nox Mente on the Hive and stuff about the fact that we could be getting taxed for flatulence, and if nothing else, be ostracized for it. And what's happened? They're totally talking about selling you the air, and all this became real. What the hell?
It's clown world.
It's
It's
beyond.
crazy.
Yeah, it's inverse clown world. It's beyond. It's beyond. And like I said, what's bumming me out, and here's where it really, this is where it got me. This is where it's hit me in the chest, is that intelligent people I know and I've known a long time are buying into this crap. They can't even see past it somehow. And I'm a cautious person. I'm actually a very cautious person. I move cautiously. I think like a wolf. I stay at the edge of the woods. I assess a situation. I'm not going to make a move that's going to cause me problems. When I need to strike, I make sure everything is right to strike, right? This is how it happens. And at this point, a wolf's starving because there's there's so much crazy. And I'm saddened by so many people. I hate to say that. I'm saddened by so many people that are well-read, people in the magical community, especially, that should understand the undermarkings of social engineering, how one constructs one's reality. I mean, these are magic 101. This is all 101 level stuff. And yet when it's playing out in the collective like it is, I'm seeing magical people that should understand these principles, these principalities, right? That are completely not getting it.
Yes, and so much to unpack there. What I see a lot of these intelligent magical practitioners, etc., who are so rabid, it's like their hatred for one side or the other has clouded their ability to think clearly and to think critically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I just felt like you were going to go further with that.
Well, I don't want to name names. I know a few people.
No. We don't do that here.
No, I know.
Except
I'm
for
not
these clowns in the public.
the public clowns. We don't expose the private clowns.
Right. We'll let them keep their mask on. I mean that in like the eyes wide shut.
Yeah.
Because all that's at play with this.
I know. There was a great, last night on the Cruise and Mistake show, James had a clip of Alex Jones going, Oprah Winfrey's a pedophile. It was pretty funny.
It looks like we have our friend Keats.
I invited him to be a caller.
I see his icon. Keats, hey baby, how are you?
Good. How are you guys doing?
Welcome, Keats Ross. How are you doing? Last week we had your dad, and now you. Damn, get your mom on here. Wait.
Yeah, right. Good luck getting a hold of her.
Yeah. Before I continue, I want to say thank you to our latest Patreon, whatever the fuck it is, Jet Petty, who's in chat. Thank you, Jet, for joining our Patreon.
I love you, Jet Petty.
We both love you.
Love Jet Petty.
Thank you so much. We really appreciate it. All right, go.
I also want to say that if anyone else wants to jump in, I don't want to bogart this community conversation here. So,
no, it's you're here, so you know what I'm saying.
So I didn't get a notification when you guys started. Am I super late?
It's an hour in, but it doesn't matter.
We started late, and our guest, I believe her phone died because she's not answering my texts.
Yeah, she's in Manhattan. She was on the street, and she's a rad guest. So we're definitely gonna redo that with her.
Oh, I'm sure it's something. Yeah, totally.
You know what? Going into her bio though, I didn't. Because she's a stand-in for Saturday Night Live. She's got an IMDb out there. Melody Krell. And
Krell,
so
yeah.
I just thought that was all she was bringing to the table. But then when I put my eye on her, because there's not a lot, I couldn't find anything really on YouTube or anything, but I got my eye on her, and just from the little bits I could hear in some group panels, because she gets over like people in the 2 videos I saw with her in group panels, she was being interrupted a lot and couldn't get full thoughts out. So I couldn't get a real feel for where she was, but I got enough of a feel that she was talking about some very interesting historical stuff that moves through into the reality we have today, and she's fearless like that. And so I'm looking forward to having her on, because we started with King Louis and Marie Antoinette and their son that came forward and moved an agenda forward. Very interesting stuff, Keats.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. What's funny is you said, she's a stand-in for SNL. And my first thought would be like, oh God, you guys would be the podcast that she gets fired from SNL. I'm just
Oh,
kidding.
yeah, whatever. You know
I'm
what?
just kidding.
This is my friend Fred Armisen is an SNL person.
I know. I was joking because of that
but
Shane
I'm
Gillis.
saying this. I haven't liked SNL since who was the last person I liked SNL on? What was the
Will Ferrell.
yeah, in that era.
More cowbell. More cowbell.
It all kind of died for me in that era. Do we have someone else in here?
Yeah, I invited Melissa in.
Okay. Hello, Melissa.
Hey guys.
So, Keats, what's going on?
Nothing, just kind of keeping the straight and narrow. We were supposed to be in California this week, and then, there's a wall of fire that we were going to have to drive through.
Not to mention crazy smoke, which is
Right.
here.
So then we decided, we were going to go to the East Coast, and then there's a wall of water that we'd have to get through. So
My wolves are going to trigger everyone.
Oh, I love it.
This is for Kelly.
What is going on?
This is for Kelly, the howling wolves. I'm sorry, Keats.
Who's Kelly?
Oh, you're all good. I love it.
Kelly wasn't it Kelly who said, no, we triggered someone with my dogs. I don't know. Was that Kelly?
No, it was a person in the comments section. It wasn't
yeah,
Kelly.
my dogs, my wolves. Let me be clear about that. Anyway, sorry. So you didn't go to California, or you did?
Not yet. I think we're still going to. I have a grandparent that's in the hospital that seems a bit pressing to see them.
Yeah.
So I think we're just going to have to brave the orange skies,
I'm sorry to hear that.
Orange sky's bad.
Right? Oh, the sun is so ominous. It's weird that you can look directly at it.
Yeah. Sure. Those sun gazers are getting a kick out of that.
Oh, yeah. Well, the smoke is, of course, me and the woo. I believe the smoke is laced. So, of course, I believe all this is weaponized energy, which is not woo. There are patents on it. It's been in use. Lockheed Martin's been using it for over 20 years. It's in the field. So for those people that need their science, it's out there. And I believe, and then there's a good deal of video and stuff showing beams coming down and starting fires. And then we know smart meters are little bombs and all this. And this is all not in the realm of woo. There's paper trail and facts following that shit up. So do your research.
Sure.
And beyond that, I think that that's what's going on. But I started to wonder about what's in this. The smoke seems to be the big deal right now. It's all over. And now the current's pushing it all the way to the East Coast.
Yeah, I was going to say we literally have a fighting of the elements now with the hurricane on the East Coast. The air, the fire, the water, the earth, it's all being attacked.
Yes.
It's pretty biblical.
It is the raw elements. It is, but so I've been, and I think that one of the things that got me off my rocker here is this lack of, it's been so terrible up here, Keats, and you lived up here, that it has been so hard. I have been in 2 rooms basically because I'm a Victorian. I have
Right.
layers of drapes. So I've had them closed mostly, and kind of just inhabiting a couple rooms because the smoke is so thick. And I'm having headaches. I'm sure everyone else is, but I'm reminded of that event in New York, although I've said every other keyword tonight, and but how the smoke affected people 20 years later, the debris smoke, right?
Yeah,
And
I
how
can't even
people
imagine.
but people expect it results in like 5 minutes. Oh, 5G's turned on here. I don't have any problems. Well, check back with me in some years and see where your cancer started.
Well, it
You
reminds
know?
me, my grandfather was a smoker and a drinker for a long time, and they say his cause of lung cancer was Agent Orange, like 40 years later.
In the war, right? When they're
Yeah.
spraying that on people saying it's perfectly safe.
Yep. They're like,
Look,
whoops, it wasn't the
Billy's
cigarettes that killed
eating,
him.
it's spraying on Billy's food, and Billy can eat this and is fine. Isn't that food delicious, Billy? Yeah, mom. You
MSG.
know?
Yeah.
It's such bullshit.
But yeah, so I'm just trying to, I don't know, keep measured, keep meditative, doing a lot of writing, doing a lot of meditating, I guess, to reuse the word, because we have just been, we're in Colorado now, so we're landlocked in this really weird chasm where the coasts that we're needing to go to for different things are, just in dire straits.
Yeah.
And so we have this animus in us that's like needing really bad for ocean, or for something other than where we're at. And yeah, so there's just been a lot of like turmoil kind of cosmically here, I guess,
Yeah.
because it's all kind of generating into the landline that is the Rockies,
Yeah. Well, cloud seeding is a thing, and you can pay to have it done over your farmlands and stuff. So if the fires really did want to be tamed down, cloud seeding is a thing, especially the closer to a big body of water, hello, the ocean, you are, the more successful it is. So if these fires, if the governments were really invested in stopping some of this stuff that's affecting you there and other people, then we could do some cloud seeding and put this shit out.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm sure there's plenty of ways. God, I've been so insular with all of this. It's like trying to stay away from the phone as we figure out like what we need to decide, right or left, with this road trip. It's
Yeah,
like that's the first step. What can we brave?
How
yeah.
about
And
south?
I'm up here in Canada and on Vancouver Island, and we've had nothing. Like we've had tons of rain day after
That's
day, and I've
awesome.
been praying for it for you to go for down to you guys. But
yeah, we had
Yeah.
a freak snowstorm last week. One day, 14 inches
It's
of
like
snow in
after it was
Colorado.
90 the day before, right?
It was 100
That's
degrees
bizarre.
the
Yeah.
day before,
That's
and now we're
not-
back in 90s. Like I can't make sense of it. It's really just like this
It's
crash
controlled.
course in control. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
My mom
It's-
called me today and told me there's a hurricane coming. I'm like, oh, really?
Oh yeah, we're just talking up here in America and Canada. If you go out and look at the macro level, things are crazy all over the world, and now we're seeing the animals have been crazy for a while. Y'all know I follow the animal stuff,
Mm.
but in the last 2 weeks it's at a new level where whales and dolphins are doing very crazy things, very 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 crazy, and dying off. And then all those birds that are falling again and again. And I can
Right.
tell you where I live, and in this cottage I live, I have witnessed, because I've got like a farm situation going, not like a full on, but there are flies, people, and I allow the flies to be. And I've witnessed them falling dead out of the sky, like out of the air by me, falling dead. Now, this is unusual. In my whole life of not liking flies, wishing that could happen, it's finally happening, and I see
bags of
it.
money, bags of money, bags of money.
right. Yeah.
It's like Amityville Horror, but the whole world.
Where's Jody, the
What-
devilish pig, when you need him?
Right. Well, it's making me think about these frequencies, these millimeter frequencies, and the web that is being created that's thickening around us. And then, like, I don't have any real answers.
It could just as easily be cosmic rays.
Yeah,
It's a
true, like-
Fantastic Four.
The Earth's magnetic, yes, they're going to turn into the beast, the the thing flies,
Thing.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
No,
but to pretend like it's not happening and to pretend like it's just simple climate change. What is climate change? Climate change actually is evolution. The climate is always changing. The climate changes. It's just such a co-opt language. What we're seeing is weaponized weather. It's a whole different game. And to accept it and to normalize this, and God forbid to buy into the Al Gore bullshit,
which God?
is
Which, I
well,
mean, that's
God is-
causing half your problems anyways, with all these people saying, don't do controlled burns and this is bad for the forest. I mean, this is poor
Right.
management. This
Right.
is like really bad, governing.
Yeah, it's. I mean, if there's anything to blame for these fires, it's Sierra Club, not not climate change.
or it's Jerry. I think that's our girl.
That
Or
wasn't
it's
me. It wasn't me.
Oh, wasn't I don't have that going.
was
Or it's the
Ke-
Good Club
Keats.
that I wanted to talk about. with
I'm not
Mel.
an Apple user.
It sounded like a
An
a
iPhone.
cell phone.
Sound like
It was
an iPhone.
it was somebody messaged me.
I was gonna say I'm also not a ringtone or sound user.
I'll just turn the volume down, guys. It's all my fault. I'm
You've
in the
ruined
frequency.
the show tonight. You've
Yeah.
ruined it.
I've got to teach my iPhone to do jazz hands.
Oh, actually, it was my Easy Bake Oven. My brownies are done.
Oh my God, that dates you. Do they
Thank
even
God.
make those anymore? That's hilarious.
Yes, they do.
They
We
do.
might all be using those. That's the future of baking.
My cocaine brownies have now finished.
Ooh, I'm on my way over. Make a spot. At this point, it's like, fuck it. This is like,
You're like, whatever. If I make it through 2020, I'll be lucky.
right.
Let's have a Coke
well,
brownie.
it's certainly looking like they don't want us to.
Yeah,
Mm.
I definitely have had the thoughts of the people displaced in the fires and all of that, but especially those homeless around there and the ones that are, continual users of drugs. Like, to match being displaced, the smoke, and going through detox in a government that is scrambled and fucked and unable to, kind of help you or give you the social services you need to kind of get through that is just a nightmare.
Yeah.
Sounds like a nightmare.
Well, but the nightmare's there's an architect to this nightmare. There's planning to this deconstruction. And that's at the heart of this nightmare, that there's actually an architect to it. And it's got many legs.
Sure.
So, that's where I guess I love the term woo. I first heard the term woo from a Victorian book called, and I still have it. I should photograph it and post it. It's called Wooed and Married. And it's got this really charming Victorian couple. More
It's like,
Edwardian.
it's like a courting book.
It is totally. And
Yeah.
it's, this Edwardian, beautiful colored, photo hardback or picture, and I think I'm going to use that
You
as
should.
or
I'm
something.
sure it's
with
like public
woo.
domain now.
But it's just
Anyway.
interesting that it's just the woo idea has come
I was
in
just gonna
from,
say,
right? You see
I
the
had
origin.
never really put that together. I guess, like, yeah, when you're wooing somebody, it's kind of spellbinding them in a way.
Yes, you're convincing them that they should, why you are up to par for them to come your way.
Yeah,
Right.
it's a shortened version of courting, to court.
Yeah, that's what I
Yes.
said. The courting book.
And
Yeah.
so now it's,
I wasn't listening. so-
weaponized.
It's
But-
weaponized woo. I like it. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm hearing some people in the chat from Scotland are saying jellyfish are going crazy there.
Yes,
Jag.
the animal stuff is hello, Jag. The animal stuff is crazy everywhere. Is Jag actually a Scot?
Apparently.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't. Jag always keeps us in with our crossing our T's.
We have this.
Jerry's getting high, y'all.
No, I'm not. It was.
It's all right, Jerry. It's all right.
I'm running a podcast on cults, and I'm noticing humans going. Like, if there was anyone who was marginally about to join a cult,
They're going.
start one, they're either in one or they started one, or cults are going right crazy online. Like it just seems like I'm getting messages left, right, and center about stuff.
So the cult business is good right now. Start a
Yeah.
cult.
And I'm getting
businesses-
attacked by a UFO sex cult too.
Oh my goodness.
Tell us about that. I found it really interesting.
Well, I had guest Cal Korff on my show, and he's a
Mhm.
very logical guy, and he had gone undercover into the cult years and years ago and written about it, and so he's updating all his information and releasing new stuff that no one's seen before because he's been a journalist for decades and
You said that
didn't deal with UFOs.
you said he worked for Apple and he like invented the right click or something.
He what? Sorry.
Invented the right click, or I forget what you told me.
No, it was HyperCard.
HyperCard.
He worked on HyperCard.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Sorry.
I
Go
don't
ahead.
know. I don't know about the right click. Anyways, he had done UFO stuff and busted because he'd been doing UFO lectures since he was 13 because he's a genius. And then so he did regular journalism and a whole bunch of other stuff in career and all that stuff. And he came back and went through his archives and he's like, and he's reading what people are saying and that they cult still his followers. He's like, I got to do this again. So I had him on my show and as it were, the Flying Monkeys, as soon as they got wind of that interview where he was talking about, it's been interesting. They're trying to get his American representative, I won't say any names, on my show as a guest, and they're harassing me and calling me names and calling me slimy. I'm like, I don't think that's how you get on my podcast.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't think I want to sit down with you now. And it's probably all one guy pretending to be like 15, 20 people. You know what I mean?
Yes. Or it's a bot.
Yeah. Yeah. It's apparently this one guy who's a representative of Billy Meyer UFO cult, it's a cult from Switzerland. You know who it is. It's a famous case. Apparently he's pretending he has like a whole bunch of different handles. So it's just like nonstop. And I'm like, look, buddy, you need to go learn. Like, this is not how you go about saying, I've got the real information. I've got the real evidence by harassing me nonstop. And then I got a threat, like a veiled threat. Like, what did it say? It was he did it from like a place where it's a temporary email. It was something like
shark lasers.
It was shark lasers, but the header of the thing said something about fallen things make a sound.
I forget.
So I was like, I don't, that's a very unusual thing to say to somebody. I'm like, I think that's a threat.
Assholes in this group or in this community are always so pretentious.
Oh my God.
Yeah, well,
no.
this guy runs a cult and they make a lot of money.
Oh yeah.
So
well,
when you
that's threatening.
expose it,
Yeah.
they're not gonna like that.
And
So
speaking of cults and money,
that is a PhD in pretension.
Oh, guys, guess what? The cult leader just sent me a message through email while I was talking about this. It's one of the identities. It says, Melissa, I am officially breaking up with you. I doubt you will suffer any heartbreak. Truly no hard feelings, and I wish you well.
Oh, well, that's very kind of
I'm
them.
so sorry.
Yeah.
You should tell him hi because he's watching.
Probably. That's probably what's happening. They're scared now because what? You've got, look at who you're hanging with.
You got a whole audience of 30 people listening to you.
Got a regular collection of assholes over here.
What a weird thing to
Right.
send after calling me a slime bucket and sending me like 10, 12 emails nonstop and then threatening. Now they're breaking up with me.
So you don't want to join, then is what you're saying.
I don't know. I kind of always wanted to have a Pleiadian hybrid baby.
Oh, don't say that
And
too
you
loud.
still can act
They'll
now.
just steal it out of your belly anyway. You don't
Don't say
mind.
that too loud. You're gonna get someone excited, and that's not good.
I'm upset now. They broke up with me.
So you guys know that Corey Good is suing a bunch of people,
Yes.
right?
I have no idea who you're talking about.
Okay, the Blue Chicken
He's-
Cult.
I'm just kidding.
David
No,
Wilcox.
Keats are
Corey
hilarious.
Good.
I don't know if Wilcox on the lawsuit. I know Corey Good is. He's
David Wilcox not on the lawsuit. They're
Okay.
just linked. They know each other. They work together.
They're connected at the hip. I know. Yeah.
So, and
But,
anyway,
yeah, it
why are we
derailed me.
talking about these cads?
Because we were talking about cults and UFO cults, and
Yeah.
he's a UFO cult, and he's suing people for bad mouthing him.
Again, There's
Yeah.
free speech. Like, what the hell? So I bet he's doing it though under
But
slander.
he's also like, by doing this, bolstered the career
Character
of the
defamation.
naysayers.
Yeah.
You know, so it's kind of this awesome Ouroboros.
It's not like they're famous people. It's
Yeah.
like CW Chanter and Cliff High and a bunch of other people.
Right, but CW was able to garner a good community of, like-minded,
oh, he definitely.
naysaying people because he was the object of their ire, So it's
Yeah,
like,
but it took
it-
CW a while to get in it. He kept saying, I distinctly remember when everyone else was getting mentioned and attacked, CW is like, what? CW gets no love, and pushed his way into getting some love. And then,
I don't know anything about that.
well, I just observed it and I thought it was hilarious when he was tweeting stuff like that. So he got some love. You guys
He
love
gave me a
him.
good ribbing on a live stream the other day. It was a good job.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Why?
Well, step right up.
I'm
don't
surprised he
You
even
know.
knows who you are.
Hey, what does
Oh.
that mean?
You were a mod. Keats is a mod there.
No.
Was at least.
Oh, really? I didn't know that.
No,
I didn't even know you followed him.
No, not really. I heard a talk he did randomly about ascension programs, and I really, really enjoyed what he said.
Yeah.
So I subscribed and kind of kept up, but then realized how small the community actually is, and people like Sam Shadow and
Yeah.
Brandon Young and all these people knew him, and they
Yeah.
were always in the live chat. So I kind of got sucked in, but I like to play dumb on a lot of that stuff, just because, like, God, I really don't care about calling out charlatans. Like,
Yeah, I know. Me either.
but I do like what CW says, about stuff like Ascension and.
Well, he's
and
got a lot of
magic and-
charisma. I mean, I really think he should do stand up personally, but he's got a lot of charisma. And
Can
I
you
underst-
imagine him at trial? Oh my God, I'd love to have him as my lawyer.
But this would be gold. I want to see that. And so,
So,
yeah, he's
sorry.
totally charismatic, and so you can see why all that would happen. Why there would be all of a sudden he got some love because
And I guess I shouldn't say I don't care about calling out charlatans. I think it's more just, you say your piece, you kind of move on. For
Yeah.
me, because like the charlatans are so obvious. Like, Corey Good's a fucking joke. Like, what are we doing here?
oh, I know.
But
I don't.
I mean, they're
even-
not
No.
obvious to everybody though, because
true.
that's
Right.
why I do my show and
Right.
talk to people about all the damages and all the horrible things that have happened to them. So they're not.
That's very true.
They're everywhere, and they lure so many people in, and so many people. Some people won't ever leave; they love it, and some people's lives are just damaged.
I really
Yeah.
hope, and I do think there's a place for shows like that, because I really do hope that people have the umbrage to look at the other side and find shows that are saying, "Hey, this is bullshit." Like,
Yeah,
the
mine does that.
Teal
You just
Swan podcast was really good. I thought that was a really good multi-part series. I think what it is with me, I think I'm speaking specifically about the CW, where it kind of comes up every show specifically about Corey Good.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And that's
yeah.
like,
It just feels like overkill.
yeah.
I
But,
don't care personally, so I don't. Even if I see that name somewhere, or even Wilcock, I don't waste
Well-
my time. Is way too valuable. I don't even pause anymore. In the
I-
beginning, yeah, it was interesting.
I think they probably would like to keep that going because, I mean, any press is good press, right? If you
Right.
keep your name out there. So,
And that's
I
what
mean,
I'm saying, yeah.
that's what, I mean, even if you're doing crappy stuff and you're Corey, whatever, and you're a douche, it's like, whatever. It keeps your name in there.
At least they're talking about me. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. Yeah.
What?
Well, that's
can't-
what, like
it's
a
weird.
thumbs
And,
down.
I'm
a
very
thumbs down is
upfront.
still an interaction. It still
I
counts
know.
as an interaction.
I'm still
True.
very upfront about my naivete about that whole community.
Keep it that
And,
way. These people are also so, enamored with themselves and believe that they're right. They don't see what's wrong with it.
Well, I think it's a lot too, like in the Venn diagram of, the conspiratorial communities and the occult communities, that small middle slice is it's hard for me to go super conspiratorial because I care so much about like personal transformation and taking accountability and, utilizing magical paths and stuff to kind of, help you be a better person. Whereas like a lot of the conspiratorial stuff, you get too far.
Who
It's
wants to
about
do that? Be
other
a better
stuff.
person.
I do.
I'm kidding.
I do.
So
But
I think
yeah,
we
so
should.
and I'm still like weaving in and out, trying to figure out my place in it. You know.
So let's talk about hidden history, Tartaria, and orphan trains.
Oh Jesus!
Oh, you start first, Jared. What's that
No,
about?
I'm kidding.
You want to silence
kidding.
me? Let's go there.
Alex is in chat. I thought I'd bring it up.
Is Alex Flavatown?
I don't know.
I'm just asking. I don't. There's so many Alexes.
You'd have to ask Alex. I wouldn't
Okay.
dox someone on public radio like this.
With a made up name.
I don't think it's a made up name.
Oh really? Because I thought Flavatown was like a hashtag 1980s rapper.
No. He's an African American from Arkansas.
Okay. Well, I learned something today. So I'm Ninja Pop.
Oh, just
And
called
I'm here
yourself
to
out.
pop. Yeah.
That was good.
I don't know what's
Whatever.
happening right now, but I just
I
brought
don't
up.
know how doxing someone by a handle is a thing, but that's
It's just something I don't do. It's like I don't like talking about certain people. Maybe Carrie Cassidy once in a while, but that's about it.
Well, I'm just saying I didn't know who you're talking about. We had our guest Alex the last
Different
a couple
Alex.
weeks ago. Yeah, and that's the one I thought, and I like that Alex. I don't know who this other Alex is.
It's Flavortown. Come on.
So see, I
Well,
was
now
right.
I know his name is Alex.
Jesus, Jerry, you're so serious tonight. You need to take a hit.
I'm
Bob.
not serious. I'm goofing around.
I've been on Cruise a Mistake many times, and I never knew that, Jerry. I never knew his name was Alex. So thank
Well,
you.
he doesn't tell anyone.
shite. Now it is out.
I'm just joking.
Oh
Now
my
he's-
God.
Now he's going
Watch
to give
your
me
back.
double. He's going to give me double the shit now in chat.
You're going to get it right up the arse.
Mhm.
And you're going to like it, Jer. Oh,
laughing.
wait. Is that racist?
No, that's sexist.
Oh, yeah, right.
You mean
It's another
arse
is.
racist to the Scots? What do you mean?
I don't know. This whole narrative is just so funny. Tonight is I'm actually laughing, having a good time. I'm
It's a
glad you're
goofy
all
night.
on.
It's a
Yeah,
fucked
it's
up.
goofy. It was Jerry, wasn't it strange from the beginning?
It has
I
been.
couldn't get in. We had a bogus link for some reason. Our guest couldn't get in, then she gets in and she's kicked off. It's like there is some fuckery in the air. It could be the Gatorade, right, Jer?
Yeah, it could be. It's Mars retrograde, actually.
And
Is
I had
Venus what's retrograde right now, Keats? Everything, right?
You're right.
Mars.
Mars
is
is
Mars, though,
retrograde, but
specifically.
that
In-
just is
yeah.
not technology stuff.
No, it's
So,
not.
It's
Mercury is.
communication. Mercury is, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
the
had a
Mars-
UFO sex call break up with me too. So
I
There you
know
go.
this is
We're losing.
momentous.
We're all losing
September
today.
surprise.
oh my God,
Yeah, I'm like
right
I'm
on
a,
your show.
I'm a
I
haggard
had to
man.
handle it live.
Whoa, this was another Vox's Nocte first. Breaking news. This is awesome. You need a care package to get through this, Melissa. We're gonna send you Nux Mente is gonna send you
I have a
know what
prize
you drink.
box. I have a prize box.
Oh, you did mention that. Well, we should send that to Melissa because she just had a breakup.
Send me
And
your
the
address and I'll
tacky
send you a
breakup.
prize. Now, I have to say, these prizes are like nail fungus cream and cell
Oh,
phone covers for stuff from 20 years
practical
ago.
stuff, Jer.
No
It's-
Palladian babies.
No Palladian babies. No Palladian baby scrapers either.
I think we do have a pig fetus in a jar somewhere.
Oh, okay. Now we're talking.
Ooh.
I got to tell you this story about how I collected this box of shit. Last year, I forgot, for about 4 or 5 months, I started getting these packages from Amazon that I didn't order. And apparently it's called, I don't understand
Were
why.
they full of Chinese seeds? that you ended up-
No,
Okay,
no,
Jerry,
it
you
was a
need your
bro-
backstory here. You had done the sphere of the moon, right, or something like that.
No, I didn't. I've never done any rituals like that.
Oh my God, you were on air talking about it.
I might have wanted to do it, but I never did do it. So I don't remember. And this was long after that.
You were Catholic. Isn't thinking about it the same as doing it?
In any case, there was a thing running on Amazon where companies would send you, they'd somehow get your address and then send you a copy or send you one of their products. and then, but they were the purchaser, so they would then review it well. It was called a brushing scam. You can look it up on Google. Anyway, I got about 40 of these packages of some stuff's pretty good, and like nothing was really over $20 in cost. But it's like cell phone cases, styli for a tablet, you know, a stylus pen thing, the nail fungus cream, a couple earbuds, sets of earbuds, things like that.
Some anal
You got?
beads.
Is there anything in there for Igor?
No.
Mm,
Sorry.
damn. Well, I don't know. That foot fungus cream might.
If you need a present for
Igor.
if you need a present for Igor, I have a perfect one to send you.
Ooh, daddy.
I just thought it'd be inappropriate if I did that.
Oh, you know what? This show suddenly turned into Cruise and Mistake.
Not really. There's no Trump quotes going off, and Alex Jones.
That's true.
That's true.
Oprah Winfrey's a pedophile.
Michelle Obama's a man. Yeah. That over and over again.
Cruise and Mistakes.
Big Mike, not Michelle.
And that guy.
There's
I
no way
miss
we're
that
getting
guy.
monetized on this video.
Oh, we weren't when the moment Mel came in and we started talking all the big names. We were done.
She
for.
got quite a
We're probably
tirade
gonna
out
get
in
a
30
warning.
minutes.
How
no.
are you guys doing on monetization? Like, is that worthwhile yet?
No.
We didn't,
Yeah.
but we don't. You know what? We don't. We have had our hands slapped a couple times, right, Jared?
I know. Yeah, I remember you guys getting the live stream.
So the
kind
way
of
YouTube
thing,
works,
whatever.
for people who don't know, is that there's some kind of system that listens to the feed and translates the text, and then they run that text against. It's like a real-time transcripting, right? And they'll run that text against their allowed advertising algorithms and whatnot, and decide whether or not your stream rather, is suitable for their advertisers. And more on 2 or 3 occasions, I would think, like, it was Maxie again, and then Alex Stein, both of those during the stream. I'm sorry, I'm looking it up to get the exact thing. You'll see in your YouTube thing that I could show you. It's much easier to explain. So right here where it says it's visible, sometimes that's not it either. I'm looking.
Oh, Jerry's showing us, not the streamers.
Yeah, you don't get to see shit.
Yes.
Yes, I'm inside baseball, motherfucker.
That's what got us in trouble last time, Jerry, sharing a little
I
something.
was sharing a video.
something.
Sharing our dashboard is not going to cause any problems.
Right.
But it's not going on the stream anyway. So anyway, this monetization will turn yellow, and it will say limited availability, and then you'll have a selection here to dispute it, to appeal it. So my point was that there's a real-time transcripting going on during live streams, and I've actually had live streams pulled down because I was playing music. But anyway,
You have to get like 1,000 subscribers before you hit monetization or something like that. Is that
Yeah.
correct?
that's what it
in
used to be. I
hours.
think it went up more. You have to have like
Okay.
20,000.
Oh, really, Jared?
I don't remember what they change the rules all the time. It's the community guidelines. Did you guys see that JP video about the community guidelines? Oh, it's
No.
hilarious. I'll pass it around. Anyway, my whole point was that only a couple times I'll get that ad not suitable for all advertisers. I dispute it right away. And when a real person looks at it, they go, oh, yeah, it's fine. And if you mention something about like 9/11 or Israel did 9/11, shit like that.
There you go. I totally didn't say it earlier, Jared.
No, I'm using it as an example.
It doesn't matter.
No, I don't really care.
So you have
So
to have
anyway-
1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours.
There you
Ah,
go.
okay.
So it hasn't changed.
Clarify that.
And just to answer your question, is it worth it? No. I mean, we make.
I mean, any cent is worth it, right? I guess. But
no. I mean,
yeah, I was just wondering if like I just broke into YouTube like consistently this year, so I've got a long slope. But I don't know why I stopped focusing on the audio podcasting side to do the YouTube side, because the audio
I don't-
podcasting side is far more like beneficial of time and of energy. And of,
It kind of hooks you though.
listeners.
Once you start
It does.
streaming, it's like, oh, this is cool. There's a dopamine hit to it, definitely.
Well,
I
it's
got
the
really
radio
excited.
thing.
I got really excited using it to become a better orator, to like,
Yeah.
help be erudite in my speech when talking, to get rid of disfluencies, stop saying all the
Yes.
time,
Yes.
quit saying which I still have a problem with,
Oh my God.
and
and not saying like every 5 words, right?
and
Well, and the stuttering when you're looking for a thought.
Right.
Just says I'm editing videos all the time now, and it takes like 8 hours for 1 hour, and those things are something I just catch constantly.
So I was doing that thing where I would do a live stream. I wouldn't promote it. I would just hit, going live and just go. Just whatever was on off the top of my head. Called it X-hexing and vexing. And it would really just be these great exercises to just be more fluid with thoughts. Because I've got one of those really annoying, hyper minds, losing thoughts all the time. So it as an exercise to be a better orator has been really beneficial. And yeah, there's a dopamine hit with people tuning in at 2:00 in the morning on an unpromoted live stream. Like,
what
what the
too?
hell
You
are
get
you
people
doing?
from across the pond. That's when that's a golden hour.
Mm.
Yeah, that's been the real pain. Is a lot of my good friends are in the UK, so
Yeah.
trying to schedule things with that 7-hour time difference has been a pain in the butt. But yeah, it's been really fun. I really enjoy it. I just never really consider the monetization side of things yet,
Yeah, so to sum that up, we make maybe 20-30 cents per video.
We have 1,000 subscribers. Not like we
Right.
are so underground and small. There are channels on here that make over 100,000 a month. And
Yeah.
and I've seen the back
Fuck.
pages of them.
PewDiePie makes
where
$1 million a month.
Well, that's PewDiePie. I'm talking about channels that don't have massive amounts
Joe
like
Rogan.
PewDiePie. Well,
Niche
just even
markets.
like, if you get to the 50,000 mark of 50,000 followers, you're making a really great living if you're not getting demonetized.
No, you're not.
I've seen 50,000.
I think you'd have to have millions. You'd have to have a viral video.
You have to have millions of
and
views to make decent money on a video.
I have a podcast
I guess it depends
that
on what
specializes.
decent money is, because I know YouTubers that have 50,000, between 50 and 60,000, that are making many thousands.
They must be doing super
thousands.
chats.
Yeah.
They must be doing
Yeah.
super chats.
Well, I've only seen 300 from Nox Mente, and I've had my friends personally put in 400 in super chats. So I don't know how much super chats take out. I hear it's a lot.
30%.
So I don't know how that math works out.
I've been in some super chats and they've got like so many people, and at like every 10 seconds it's like 50, 10, 50, 100. I'm like, oh, can I have some of that?
Well, I think these bigger streams, so like Tim Pool, right? He runs his Timcast podcast every night. Tim Poo. And they usually, on average, have anywhere from 40 to 50,000 live viewers every night.
Yeah.
So
and
they also take questions from the audience, from the listeners, and the way they do that is through super chat. So if you want to ask a question, you got to send a super chat.
Yeah, but I've seen the channel. I'm friends with some YouTubers that have big. Well, I call them big channels because we have 1,000 subscribers.
I was just using
but
as
they
an
have
example.
like 50 to 60,000, and I have seen their personal paychecks. And I can name their names. I'm not going to do that, but I've seen, a lot of money, over 10,000 a month coming in. Now, do you make that, Jer, on your normal job?
Maybe.
So that to me is no, maybe, but I'm saying we can laugh that off like it's not a lot of money, but I'll welcome it.
I don't know. It's a lot
10,000 a month, baby, bring
me.
that on.
It's huge
I'd
money.
be happy.
So that's what I'm saying. So it's
a lot of money to this poor kid from the desert.
It's context what a lot of money is, but to me, I mean, even $50 would be a lot of money coming from something I spend a lot of time on. And so it's context and perspective. And that's where we've got to watch our language on what's what with the finances and YouTube. You know what I'm saying? Because not everyone's PewDiePie and not everyone's Blair White. And these are, because Blair's like at $1 million now or something. They're making good money, but people that have 50,000 are making good money. I don't care. So do that. Look at the channels that are making that amount, that have that amount of subscribers. Look at the hits they're getting on their videos, and then just start adding an average. Just do an average.
Yeah.
If you're
I
not already
suppose-
friends with them, I've found by asking and talking to a lot of people that I'm friends with that have YouTube channels, they've been very forthright in showing me their earnings and what's what, and also helping to try and help me navigate the realm. I love me some Blair White.
Yeah, I suppose, too, and I like to consider myself a part-time reasonable guy. And, I understand that the content that I create, albeit somewhat inconsistent because it's really about me just learning things anyway, is, outsider artists and metaphysical or mental health people or whatever, very niche markets. Like I don't foresee 50,000 subscribers on the conversations of me trying to glean things from people I enjoy, but I could be wrong. I don't know.
Well, I noticed on my podcast the minute I switched from occult and paranormal to deprogrammed and cults and therapy, my audience weirdly shifted. I never had an audience from France before, and now 25% of my audience is from France.
Oh,
That's
that's
cool.
interesting.
With it, like immediately, like right away. Like it was maybe 18% the first month, and this month it's 25% of the audience is from France. I never had hardly anyone from Europe before, just US, UK, and Canada mostly.
It reminds me, it's like with my music, I have a very big percentage of my audience in Germany.
Yeah.
Like, and
I'm
it's very odd to me. I don't understand why that's a thing.
I'm
but I
thinking
love it.
something's going on with your topic there. Like I'm
Right.
wondering what's going on with cults in France.
Right,
You know?
exactly. You guys like Southwestern kids?
I mean, they don't even speak English generally. A
German?
lot of times they speak French. So I'm thinking, well, they do speak English, but I
There's-
find it
yeah.
weird
Yeah.
that
No.
all of a sudden I kept the same stream and I just changed the title and boom, France.
What's the title now?
It's a deprogrammed podcast.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
I mean, for all I know, like you'd think maybe coders would look it up or something like that, but no. People in
I
France.
see. Yeah.
Like
That's because you
people in
spelled it
France.
wrong on your website.
No. Oh, I had to. That was the only
I know,
URL.
I'm teasing. Anyway,
Yeah, that's always an issue.
But
Are
no,
we-
that's on Podbean. It's
Yeah.
right on Podbean. It's like it was a weird and it was immediate.
What
Yeah.
is Podbeam?
That's
So-
where I host the podcast version of it.
it's like we use Simplecast. It's just another
Mhm.
one.
Yeah,
Pod-
that's what I use.
I
Podbean
use
was-
Anchor. I love Anchor.
Podbean was
Anchor's
the
nice,
most
that's new.
expensive.
Anchor is free, and it's got me
Yeah.
out in like 16 different. Like I'm on Spotify. I'm everywhere
Yeah,
with the
Simplecast.
Cosmic
I should
Salon.
transfer my RSS feed to Anchor.
I've been
Anchor
thinking
is
about
fucking
it.
awesome,
I,
everyone. It's seriously awesome.
So I have the podcast entwined with We the Hallowed. So it's like, because I do, articles with every audio podcast where I can also host the YouTube video. So it's the reason why I do that is because it covers all of the mediums for
Mhm.
me. But it's a pain in the ass. And that's kind of why I haven't put one out in like 3 weeks, because I just haven't had time. I mean, I've done them and I put them on YouTube
Mhm.
because it's super easy and everyone can see them. But yeah, just being an editor of a blog and doing the audio podcast version, there's got to be a better way,
We
A
had
lot of people are doing that .tv now. I see.
Yeah.
Mhm.
that's just an URL.
Yeah.
And
It
initial
seems to was becoming successful for some people. Sorry, Jared, go on.
is it a website or just having that extension on your URL? What are you talking about?
It's a web. You have your own website, and so it's a .tv.
It's just a URL. Yeah, it's just a,
Instead of .com, it's .tv.
That's
Yeah.
just that's a top level domain. There's tons of them. You can get .sex if you want.
Yeah.
What I was going to say is we had an interesting interview on Friday that we're going to release sometime next month, probably, with James Bartley from the Cosmic Switchboard. Do you remember that, Nish?
It's in my tops of ones we've done. Absolutely fabulous, fantastic, amazing interview. When is that getting released?
I don't know. I was saving it for a night off.
It's so good. Oh my God, it's so good. Yeah, James really is. I wasn't very familiar with him, and so I had to get, I always deep dive people before they come on, if it's possible. That like Mel tonight was hard because there's not much out
She
there.
doesn't
but
have a lot of public stuff, right?
there in the stuff she does have, it's almost impossible to hear her because she's on panels, and you know how panels go. So, but
Especially with Sam Tripoli,
oh my God,
who
and
we love,
so
by the way.
yeah, I'm just saying that it's his show, and he's definitely driving. Anyway, so that the James Bartley stuff is so beyond juicy. It is so juicy. Everyone should be so excited when that drops. I couldn't even believe where we went, and I'm so in line with everything he's talking about that we just went beyond balls deep. What our balls were gone. they
They were purple.
they were.
They got stretched so far.
This was so
Snap.
good. This was so good. Really, just
It was
top-notch.
it was like wearing a humbler.
He really, I mean, it's just amazing what. And so now I'm a huge fan of his. I was really truly unaware of a lot of what he is about and has been talking about, and yet he's a trailblazer.
Yeah, he's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah, he's absolutely a trailblazer. So
What is his title like? What does he generally talk about? Because I'm in the dark here. I've never heard of him. I don't want you to ruin your show.
No, it talks. His main gig is about abduction experiences.
Okay.
And my lab stuff. And he worked. You know who Eve Lorgan is? Evie Lorgan.
No.
She wrote a book a bunch of years back called the Alien, the Alien Love Bite, I think was the name of it. And she had this thesis that that ETs were interfering with putting people together artificially to cause havoc in their lives, either long term or short term. It's very long and involved. I think she rebranded it to the Dark Cupid because she realized, everything is demons. And
Oh, so they were aliens. They were demons. Yeah.
yeah,
Everything's
pretty
demons.
much. So anyway, her stuff's real interesting, and I really like her, and I would love to have her on the show. I've talked to her once before, but never for one of our shows. So I'd love to have her on. Anyway, James and her used to work together, and they wrote a lot of stuff together. They were co-researchers, and I think he moved to he did move to Australia, so I think that's probably when it ended. Maybe, I don't really know. We didn't talk about that.
Well, you were telling me one time when we were having a discussion that if you hear multiple voices, not good, talking to you, there's not all these higher selves, that you're supposed to just hear like one's okay, but multiple means bad thing, means
That's a personal
not a
belief of
good
mine.
thing.
Yes.
That I was wondering. I don't know if that's other people's beliefs, but it was just reminding me of people who hear multiple voices and think multiple gods are talking to them, and I was like, oh, are they talking to?
Well, or
I don't know.
spirit guides.
Spirit guides. That's what it was.
In this scenario, they able to single one out and communicate?
Sure, it's not a cacophony of voices going in. That's schizophrenia. But this is more of when people talk about having guides, spirit guides, essentially.
I had a really great chat with Michelle Embry recently.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and she talked
I
about
listened to that.
actually,
Yeah.
Yeah, she studied under Paul Selig, who's a big channeler.
Mhm.
Isn't he the guy from the movie Thor, the scientist?
I wish.
I was there.
No. That's a Sarsgaard. But anyways, he didn't do much, I think, channeling teaching with her. He was more of a writer.
Godard, right?
Writing teacher.
Godard. Yeah.
Yeah. And she talks about it as if on her right side, there's voices that come in and she kind of is able to pick them out and kind of move with it. So multiple voices, I think, are fine. Maybe if it's a cacophony of multiple voices and you can't single one out, that's a bad news,
Then should it be positive voices? Because I always had just like one voice, one sort of voice that would give me wisdom or flash images in my head, not a
Right.
cacophony of voices. And it was never saying anything negative. If it was negative, it was warning me about something negative.
And
Yeah,
this is
I've
what this is
definitely
what we
had
talked
experiences
about,
with
Melissa, you
both.
and I,
hmm
was that, and I said that it was probably more likely your higher self being,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
personified. Yeah. Sorry, Keats, I didn't mean to talk over you.
Oh no, you're fine. No, I've definitely had experiences with both. Actually, it's one of the big explorations of what I'm trying to work with this idea I have about divergent magic, and it's
Mm.
using brain chemistry as the other and a magical setting that you're trying to commune with and guide with. Um, I'm not saying that they're gods, I'm not saying that they're. I think guides is. God, I hate all these terms. Nish and I talk about this all the time.
I know.
Um, but I do think there's a communion of self that it might just be springing a leak, and it could be either. I haven't quite
So,
decided yet. I kind of exist in this liminal
Yeah.
space of whether it's dipping into a collective unconscious or you're actually communing with the subconscious.
I
So
interviewed somebody about their near-death experience, and they had multiple throughout their life. And one, when she was 10 years old, and she had her near-death experience, and she was out of the body, she was aware of a different version of herself. And I said, "Was it like an adult version?" And she said, "It was more than that." Yes, it was, but it was a version of myself that knew things that I was going to be doing at 29, and it showed me things that I was grossed out with, like kissing my first husband. And
right.
she said it was like the ultra adult version of me, but more than that. And I thought that was really interesting that that at 10 she's reporting that.
Yeah, I
And
used to have
yeah,
dreams like that when I was a kid all the time.
but and yeah, and hers
Um,
was she was in an accident. She almost died
Yeah, that's crazy. I actually
right
got
out of the body.
electrocuted when I was 9 in like the attic of a friend's house, and no one found me for like 45 minutes. I'm not
Ooh,
sure if my
that's
actually my
horrible.
like my
You
heart
don't? Did you
stopped.
have like an NDE?
Yes. Yeah.
My goodness.
I had a very like intense experience, but I'm not sure if I was dead. I don't have any confirmation that I was out of body or anything. I could have just been tripping balls on electricity. Who knows, but it was very long for me. I remember it very clearly. There was like this neighborhood of that looked like completely foreign to me. There's papers in the air. There was like whispers coming from each house. And I recognized later that two of the houses were actually two of the houses that I lived in, like as I got older.
Wow.
So it was almost like I still don't recognize a few, and I don't really remember that much, but I remember when I used to move into these houses or see these houses when I'm looking to move, like I'd kind of freak out because I'd recognize the architecture and everything of what that was. I know there were more houses. I feel that like when I see them, I'll know, but I don't really remember what they look like anymore. But
you mean you're moving some more?
we don't know.
Because you said
Yeah.
there's more houses.
Oh yeah,
You have to
we're
move some
not.
more.
Yeah, well, this is
He's like
This is
25.
definitely
He's
a-
going to move a lot more.
Yeah,
this
you're
is
gonna move more.
different.
Teasing.
You're off
in
by
Keats,
a
you're in
few
your-
years, but
yeah, you're in your 30s, right?
Close
You're
enough.
like
Yeah.
30.
For my age, it might as well be.
He's like
25.
everybody's 25.
Yeah, they are.
I appreciate that. If I could do 25 all over again, boy, would I
Me too.
not make some choices that I did. But
Me 3.
but yeah, so I have had dreams. There was another dream I had when I was a kid about my first girlfriend, like first proper girlfriend, but wouldn't meet her for a couple of years. I remember phoning my best friend. I was like, "Remember on the playground I was telling you about this crazy dream and I knew what love was like? I saw her today." Like, and then we ended up dating, but not very long, and it was just like a middle school goof off, really. But I know what you're saying. Like, I don't know if they have to be, right? I don't know. I'm such a contrarian to myself. I'm like, maybe I'm just feeling these memories because there's something familiar about these surroundings and people.
Yeah.
But I definitely remember 2 houses extremely specifically that I would move in when I was 19 in Portland, and a really bad one in an off year in Phoenix when I was 25. So they were different states, different areas of the country, same architecture. So yeah,
Yeah.
it's intense you brought that up because I never really I have a song about it, but I've never really kind of talked about it. Just never came up. I don't know. That's nuts that you
Well,
brought it up though.
but also speaking of songs, I thought you were making a Nox Mente intro.
Oh yeah, I promised you, Robin Eagle song. I got to get on those.
I've done one for Michael Deacon. I
Yours
like
is
doing
great
them
on
too.
your
On the Cosmic
on
Salon.
Cosmic Salon. It's
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
isn't it? It's good.
Oh, I
I
don't.
know.
I mean, you should do it, but I'd love to submit something. I have
Jerry
an idea.
doesn't like my music
You should.
at all. I have
It
like
doesn't
fans
matter.
all over too.
It
but
doesn't
Jerry
matter if I
doesn't
like it.
my stuff.
I love it because you express yourself. I think you should mention your other projects. So
That's
people,
like everyone gets an award.
everyone gets a participation trophy. you should talk about your other shows so everyone knows about what they are, including me.
Oh, I have an umbrella situation going. Umbrella Corp. I have a podcast, but I'm also going to do a live radio show at some point with it, and also under it I have a wooed section. And so what the podcast section is the Cosmic Salon, and I'm doing edited podcast. It's an edited podcast. So I spend a lot of time cutting out the ums and ahs and gremlins and all that. It's like I said, it depends on the person, but it's 8 to 10 hours per hour of editing. It's crazy. And so it's each one's gotten better. The first couple I didn't, with Emily Moyer and Suzanne. I just put the intro and extra in, and I just threw them up basically. And then I started actually editing, and then I decided I wanted it to be on the level of the Higher Side Chats of Greg Carlwood's. And I know that he does that. I know that Greg puts in a lot of hours editing.
Yeah, a ton of time.
And that's why his show's so superior. And so I wanted to raise he's my bar, he's my standard right now. And so that's where I'm going. And it's getting there. It's really slick.
It's so funny. Like that's how I started, and then everyone was like, "Nah, people want it more casual."
Well, I leave Keats. I leave in some of it,
Yeah,
but
that's
there is so much extra that your mind gets going, and you edit, and so it's a balance, but it still takes 8 to 10 hours depending on the person per hour. So I'm putting that out through the Cosmic Salon. Keats has been a guest as well, and that was a fantastic episode. And it's the only place on the internet where I have a paywall. Otherwise, because I do these shows, I do a monthly show with Montana
She
Jordan.
graces us with her presence.
And Solaris, but no, Nox Mente is like Fleetwood Mac. Fleetwood Mac is its thing, and I do my solo, but Fleetwood Mac is always there, and I always, this is my home. And
I'm just teasing.
I know, but you know what?
Phoebe's great, but she's nothing without Lindsay. Come on.
Right, absolutely. So that's what this is, though. It's I've got a Patreon. I decided I am worth some money, and the time I put in, and I've got all these other shows everywhere where there's nothing, and I don't have an outside gig anymore. I don't show art anymore. I'm doing this, and so I don't want to be a pauper. And so I've got a behind the curtain section for $5 all the way up to just 5, 7, and 20. 20 is like my producer, where I put out the I lay in the producers as a credit. And I have amazing guests lined up, absolutely stunning, amazing guests that a lot of people are not familiar with. Like I just had Scarlett Amaris on, and she was co-writer to Color Out of Space, and is involved in a lot of cool stuff in the world that people don't realize. I just don't even want to name drop right now, but there are
there's a lot of holes in our Nox Mente calendar coming up, so you want to pass some of those people over to me.
I've always had a list for you, Jer.
Oh, well, I need some more now.
Well, you need to let me know that.
I just did.
Okay, good, because you always do it so late, and I'm like, well, here's a whole bunch. Get this person.
We got like 4 shows planned right now. So.
I'm also only booking on Cosmic Salon once every week. So it's like the next week is, I have a list and I've reached out and, you know, a lot of people want to be on. I'm like, okay, but I don't book it out further. So I just got next week's guest. I just recorded with Randy Moggins, and that's going to be out this week. And the behind the curtains stuff with Randy that I did is some stuff that I've never talked about in public. My private friends know it's bombshell stuff that Randy needed to be part of. And anyway, I'm really proud of the Cosmic Salon. I'm putting in so much time. And then the Wooed section that Suzanne Potter is part of on a regular. I'm getting her on again here soon. That is like we do here. That is where I'm just throwing the intro and outro and we're having conversations and I'm not editing. And so, but that's only behind the paywall, and that's Deep Woo. It's the Wooed section. So.
Right. And that's, I think, one of the benefits for us, the way we've structured things. We do the live stream, and then I cut that out into a podcast. It keeps us to our format. It keeps us to 2 hours. I don't have to edit anything. It's so much easier. It's easy for me to do.
Yeah. And I just wanted, and so what I wanted to do at the Cosmic Salon was
make it
really,
professional.
I wanted to put out some really great, well, we've had mind-blowing chit chats on this show.
But we've never structured our show to be paywalled. And that's, believe me, we've discussed it. She and I initially.
Yeah, and
it's not like
that's
something.
Why.
Yeah, we want this to be free and be open and let everyone have access. We may in the future split some stuff off. I don't know. I'm not planning. I've got no plans to do anything like that, but you never know.
As far as right now, we're just keeping it like this. And I like it like this. It's open source. Jerry and I are both big believers in that.
Information wants to be free.
Absolutely. And so that's why I didn't feel bad by having a paywall with the Cosmic Salon. I do this, I do the Cyber Witch Cafe, and I do the Cauldrons on the Table with BB and JJ.
And OnlyFans.
And then I'm on the radio a lot, Jesus. And so just on other shows. And so I feel like I've put in a lot of content in the world. And so what I'm saying is I had guilt having a paywall. It was so hard for me to do that. And I'm just thrilled that some people have come on board and decided that the content I put forward is worth something. And so it means a lot.
Yeah, you absolutely deserve it. And Cosmic Salon is primo stuff. I really, really dig it. I mean, Nox Mente's primo stuff. You guys are true through and through broadcasters. You guys are born for this. And it's, yeah, you guys get all the good.
I got a face for radio, I've been told, so.
I've got a face for radio,
to use that joke twice today.
And Jerry's got other shows, too. Jerry's always doing something. So
yeah, I'm going to be on Melissa's show on Monday.
Again,
Yay.
yeah, he'll be out next Friday.
What are we talking
25th.
about? Sex cults? No.
Oh no, I already talked about those, and they broke up with me.
We're talking about left cults.
Crazy TDS stuff.
Yeah.
I'm sure we'll go. I'm sure there's lots of other crazy on both sides.
Yeah, it's going to be a conversation about politics, which will be interesting.
Yeah, it's you guys always. Well, Melissa, I'm a fan. You know.
Yeah, we're big fans.
So.
I love your guys' show.
we love yours more.
I stepped a little more away from the paranormal because I was researching cults a lot, and a lot of my guests that came on, it was more and more problematic, and I had to be really just for my own mental health to just have a smaller group of more well upstairs people. Let's just say that. I was stalked by quite a few people.
I think a lot of people in the UFO community, paranormal community are, lack of a better term, psychic vampires of sorts in a lot of ways. God. And yeah,
it goes every community.
Every community, but especially the paranormal one. And
the conspiracy community, I'd say too.
Yeah, for some, All communities have their
And the
vampires,
occult
right?
community and the band community.
And the
You know
political
And the
community.
planet.
You know what's worse is the knitting community, to be
Oh
perfectly
my God,
honest.
tell me about
What
it.
a bunch of catty
Let's
bitches.
do a knitting podcast. I
Pearl
don't even know how to
one?
knit.
Oh, it's easy.
It's like what? Knit, pearl, knit, pearl.
Yep. Knitting is so easy. It's just so boring and time consuming.
I used to make a living spinning wool, like processing fiber. I did fiber arts forever.
Did you ever
And
meet
I was never a knitter, but I did.
Rumpelstiltskin?
I think I have Jer. That might be another program memory in there somewhere.
All right. Well, I don't think Mel's going to join us, and I'm going to wrap this up.
We're definitely getting Mel back because this
Yeah.
woman has some amazing. She's got an amazing brain, and she's very interesting, and we need her back.
Yes, it's not it's not us, it's you, right?
Well, she's in Manhattan right now. I mean, come on.
Yeah, I'm assuming something happened to her phone, slapped out of her hand by like a BLM protester or something.
Or she had maybe, the wine.
Yeah, I just hope she's okay. And we
Yes.
will have her back for an Oxmente.
Oh, Nish, we got to do our threesome with Derek.
Hey, yes. I was just talking with Derek. Yes, absolutely. Can't wait. We're doing that on your show, right?
Yeah, so many stuff in the works. I'm gonna take, I think, a week off. Gonna come back swinging. Look out for the audio podcast of Michelle and Derek, and I talk about a new ritual I'm working on with mental health. And yeah, I'm gonna be posting a lot about the book proposal I'm writing, which is pretty promising. There's a small publisher in Oregon that I'm excited. It's
Oh,
interesting.
nice.
And yeah, and the audio sigil by Halloween, damn it.
When it's ready.
When it's ready. I know you, every time I talk to you, you're like, just when it's ready. But I
So is
want-
that how, and so give us, both you and Michelle, give us the
Melissa.
websites, people. I mean, Melissa. Sorry, I just looked over at the chat and I see Michelle Embray is nice. So that's what
Yeah,
I was
and
looking at.
I put your Keats and Melissa, I put your links in the show notes.
I actually pulled up the chat.
Oh my God.
Yeah, if anything, check out wethehallowed.org. That's our community of weirdo artists and metaphysicians, I guess you'd say.
And
In a very
synchromystics.
pretentious way. Yes, exactly. And sadomasochistics. And no, we there's art, there's zines, there's music, there's video, there's
art.
podcasts, there's art. But yeah, and pragmagic.com is kind of where you get the show. Yeah. DakotaSlim.com is the music, or .net. Jesus.
Melissa.
Okay. Well, deprogram.com. That's
With
the
no
website.
E,
And it's
with
just
no E.
a D and programmed because someone stole the other one on me and I want it to be, Anyway, so we got Jerry coming on 25th. I just have the sex cult UFO show out. I've got another UFO researcher that's coming on. He actually did his dissertation on UFOs, so he's going to be on next week. And I have a stage magician and hypnotherapist who's been
cool.
practicing for 30 years. He'll be on at the beginning of October, and he's going to go in the 8 steps of induction and how to get out and how people control your mind.
What's his name?
His
can't
name
wait
is
for that.
Jonathan Royale. He's from the United Kingdom.
Does he have a YouTube channel where he mass hypnotizes people?
I'm not sure.
There's this guy
I'm
on
very excited about that.
Yeah, he just basically, he's like does a lot of work in helping people do recovery. So I asked him if he wanted to come on, and it was good. I wanted a solid show from somebody who had that experience where we could say, here's how they're going to do it. And it's so hard. You can tell people, but sometimes, you know what? It's harder to see when you're in it. It's difficult, but we try our best.
That's a bigger thing in the world too, right? That's a big idea.
And it's big online. It's, the cults are going down, like physical church kind of cults, but they're growing on the internet. So
yes.
And what a
Like
great
we-
place to capture minds on the internet.
mhm.
All right.
Also,
well,
We the Hallowed is not a cult.
no, it's not a cult. It's a collective.
Mhm.
It's a co-op. It's a co-op. It's an art
You
co-op.
can't
Thank
prove
you.
anything, and we've buried everything. So
Thank you, Keats. Thank you, Melissa. I
Yeah,
love
thanks
you
so much.
both. And
Thanks for
everyone that
having me.
peeked into
Yeah,
the
thank you, guys.
chat. Thank you all. I love our course so much.
Yes.
Just you guys are so wonderful. And thank you for spending time with us.
Yes,
it was good to
thanks.
meet you, Melissa. Thanks,
You
Jerry.
too.
Thanks, yeah.
All right,
We'll
everybody.
be listening.
See you next week. We have Nox Mente next week with Martina Markova. Finally. So it should be interesting. All right.
Wait, did we reschedule her?
No.
Was that Mel we rescheduled?
No.
Okay. I'm so confused.
It was Stacy Jewell.
Oh, yes.
She's on in 2 weeks or 3 weeks.
That's right. I recall
Anyway.
now.
We have lots of shows lined up. Well, we've got 3 or 4 shows lined up, but they're good. So all
Thank you,
female month.
Jerry.
Thank you, Nish. Have a great night. Thanks, Melissa. Thanks, Keats. Thanks, everyone, for
you.
listening. Tune in next week. Smash that like button. Thumbs down is bad karma.